as hundreds of people are crossing from the Mexico side into the United States illegally.
A heavy law enforcement presence in Eagle Pass following the arrival of hundreds of migrants to the city across the border. Piedras Negras, Coahuila. All happening.
The border crisis is growing worse by the day. Here, the river is more than just water. It's a lifeline and a boundary. Every footstep that enters the current of the Rio Grande carries a mixture of hope and fear. Eagle Pass, Texas, a small town on America's southwest edge that's never truly quiet. Because here, worlds collide between law and longing, between the American dream and hard reality. Behind its dusty terrain and quiet streets, Eagle Pass stands as a silent witness to one of the most human and heartbreaking dramas in modern America. It was national news for days. But for the people of Eagle Pass, a presidential visit is not just politics, it's another chapter in a long history of border life. Here, federal decisions aren't distant headlines, they shape daily survival. Eagle Pass sits in the far southwest corner of Texas, right along the banks of the Rio Grande. Across the water lies Piedras Negras, Mexico. This river doesn't just divide, it connects. It's been a shared pathway for generations of people, culture, and language. Neighbors on both sides know each other. They've worked together, traded together, and visited one another for decades. For many, it's not two countries, it's one shared community, flowing back and forth across the water. Living on the border comes with weight. This town is the front line when new immigration or security policies are rolled out from Washington. The effects are immediate, from stricter patrols to disrupted daily routines. Here, national politics walk the same streets as school buses, grocery shoppers, and working families. But to many residents, the border is not a line of division. It's part of everyday life that brings people together. Cross-border ties shape this town's identity through its food, its music, and most of all, its values of family and tradition, passed down across the river and through the generations. Despite covering just under 10 square miles, Eagle Pass holds a long and complex story deeply tied to the shared history of the United States and Mexico, stretching all the way back to the 19th century. From the start, this small town has played a major strategic role, not just militarily, but also as a vital point for trade and migration. During the era of westward expansion, as the U.S. tightened control over the borderlands, Eagle Pass emerged as a critical gateway. Its location along the Rio Grande made it a key crossing point, not only for military troops, but for merchants transporting goods, crops, and supplies. And for many seeking a better life, it also became one of the earliest unofficial doors into the American dream. Eagle Pass is more than a dividing line between two nations. It's a meeting point of cultures, where conflict, cooperation, and cultural exchange have taken place for generations. It has witnessed battles, signed treaties, and served as common ground during times of both tension and peace. The town was built on constant movement of native peoples, settlers, soldiers, merchants, and migrants. Each wave of people brought new hopes, new skills, and new traditions that shaped what Eagle Pass is today, a town pulsing with blended identity. From its food and music to its customs and language, Eagle Pass is a true reflection of border life, where history and the present walk side by side. To understand the rhythm of life in Eagle Pass, you have to look at the heart of its economy, cross-border trade. This town survives and thrives on the daily flow of people and goods crossing the Rio Grande. It's one of South Texas's most unique microeconomies. Many residents live in two realities, often working jobs that span both sides of the border, legally or informally. Some drive delivery trucks. Others sell food at roadside stalls, work retail in local shops, or offer services like laundry, mobile repairs, or haircutting. Their customers? Often a mix of locals, border agents, and visiting families from Piedras Negras just across the water. Stores, street markets, small taquerias, and family-run bakeries are the economic lifelines here. Each one depends on the easy movement of goods and people between Mexico and the U.S. But life in Eagle Pass is also incredibly fragile. Exchange rate fluctuations between the peso and the dollar can shift everything. Food prices, customer traffic, and daily income for small vendors. Even a brief change in immigration policy or a temporary closure of the international bridge can slow business to a crawl. Still, the people of Eagle Pass have learned to adapt. There's no guarantee of stability, but there's grit and a quiet resilience to keep going, no matter what changes tomorrow may bring. In recent years, Eagle Pass has become one of the epicenters of America's border crisis. This small town has seen a surge in the number of migrants and asylum seekers, including many unaccompanied minors, arriving with nothing but hope for a new beginning. The Rio Grande, once just a peaceful backdrop, has now become a line of tension, a natural barrier that carries the weight of politics, survival, and human dreams. Here, the presence of Border Patrol is impossible to miss. Patrol vehicles, helicopters, and pop-up checkpoints are part of daily life. Temporary shelters often operate beyond capacity, while local services struggle to keep up with the flow of new arrivals. At the same time, surveillance drones and even military patrols are now routine sights in the sky and on the ground. The border wall, stretching just outside the city, is more than a political statement. It physically splits the landscape and shapes the rhythm of life. For locals, the situation creates a deep moral dilemma. On one hand, there are concerns about safety, public resources, and the risk of rising social tensions. But on the other hand, there is empathy. Many residents in Eagle Pass have family roots in Mexico or other parts of Latin America, and they understand firsthand why people are willing to risk everything for a better life. Despite the crisis, the culture of Eagle Pass continues to thrive, rooted in two intertwined traditions, American and Mexican. Spanish is the dominant language in everyday life, from market stalls to school hallways, yet there's a strong sense of American pride. This is a bilingual community, where dual identities live side by side, not in conflict, but in harmony. Local traditions are alive and well. You can hear norteño music playing during family celebrations, smell the scent of Tex-Mex cooking drifting from home kitchens, and see the joy of cross-cultural festivals lighting up the streets. The church remains a spiritual and social hub, while extended families and tight-knit neighbors provide the support that keeps the community strong. In Eagle Pass, community is not just a word. It's a living network of trust, built on shared struggles, shared stories, and a deep sense of belonging, even when standing at the edge of a nation. But behind the warmth of its community, Eagle Pass faces unusual challenges every day. Access to healthcare and education remains limited, especially for low-income families. As mentioned earlier, the town's small-scale social system often struggles under the weight of external pressure, whether from immigration surges or a lack of federal support. Tensions sometimes arise, between locals, law enforcement, and the migrants who arrive filled with hope. But even in those moments, there are sparks of humanity. Locals have stepped up. Residents have created grassroots aid networks. Churches open their doors to shelter the vulnerable. And neighbors support each other in ways that make this border town feel more like family than frontier. In many ways, Eagle Pass reflects the true face of America today, a place that is complicated, diverse, and still searching for a path forward. This may not be the center of the world, but here, the world collides. In its language, its hopes, and its contradictions. Eagle Pass isn't just a dot on a map, it's a space where geography meets identity, where people live in between two countries, two cultures, and often two realities. At the end of the day, the border is not just a line, it's a condition. And in the constant flow of people, goods, and dreams, we're reminded that home is not always a peaceful place. Sometimes, it's the place you fight for. So before judging from a distance, maybe we need to listen more closely. Because in towns like Eagle Pass, the real question isn't just about laws or policies, it's about humanity. What does home really mean when you live in a place that's never truly at rest?